Hey, Jarek here, and this is a very small M4, but more importantly, it's a shell ejecting flywheeler. So yeah, very small, but pretty neat in its own right. It's not as cool as that QBZ I got, but also that one was an AEG, and this one is a flywheeler. Which, how do you make a flywheeler ejecting Nerf gun? Like, that seems impossible, but here it is. In all reality, this thing is a lot more simple than the other AEG shell ejecting ones. There's a lot less moving pieces in this. Hell, there's not even a selector switch. This is just literally an on-off toggle for the flywheels. I've not seen that before. It's a little weird, kinda cheap, but sure, why not? The actual shell ejection doesn't really kick the casings out too far, because in all reality, there's just a slant in the mag follower inside of the mag, and then another slant in the receiver. So when the gun pushes this dart into the flywheels, it just kind of launches off the ramps. The casings themselves aren't even really locked in the chamber, they're just kind of held in place there through tension with the darts sticking out of the front of the casing. This also unfortunately means that you can't use your half-length darts, and you obviously can't use the full-length darts because they're too big for this, so you have to use the darts this thing came with. The cases are also specific to this gun, but they're pretty hard to lose, because like I said, it doesn't really eject them very far. Like if I shot right here, they'd fall like right next to me. Like, it's pretty hard to lose them. The battery is installed through this little tiny trapdoor on the back. You don't need any hardware for it, thank God. I love how I don't need hardware for stuff. But it's this tiny little, almost adorable 7.4 volt. No, it's not even a 7.4 volt. It's a 3.7 volt battery. Just tiniest little LiPo I've ever seen. Charges very quick. It comes with one of those USB chargers that I enjoy so much. You just put it right in the buttstock, close this, and that's all you got to do. You're ready to go. Nothing else on this even moves. The stock doesn't extend. Like, what you get is what you get. And that is a very tiny shell ejecting M4. And I'm oddly okay with it. It also comes with a fake ACOG. You can put it on here if you want. There's no rear sight, so I'd recommend putting an optic on here just so it looks a little less goofy. The front barrel piece is also friction fitted like that, so, you know, you can take it or leave it, but I think it looks better with that on rather than off. Something important that I forgot to mention is that this is semi-automatic only. It's not fully automatic. That just means there's even less parts on the inside. When you pull the trigger, it just pushes something into the darts, which pushes the darts into the flywheels. That's all it's doing. So quite literally, the only electric thing in this gun is just this on-off flywheel switch. That's it. So while yes, this thing is much smaller than a real M4 and is entirely made of plastic, it doesn't have any moving parts, and isn't quite as cool as, say, the QBZ shell ejecting gun, and there is an M416 that works exactly the same way that I have coming in the mail that I'll also make a video of. It's neat in its own right and fills its own niche. Because how many other shell ejecting flywheelers do you know? And on top of that, the performance of this thing is actually better than those other shell ejecting ones because it's a flywheeler and not an AEG having to eject casings out every single shot. I wanted both kinds of shell ejecting M4s because this one is a cool alternative to the bigger, more expensive one. Yeah, this one's more of just kind of a neat little toy, but it's still a neat little toy, and I honestly had more fun with this than I should have. And that should be about it. So before I continue rambling on, let's just have some footage of me shooting this thing.